This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, there were fiery scenes as Dunedin City Council begins its three-day annual plan discussions. A $40,000 upgrade of a dangerous road crossing is the first of its kind in Dunedin. And New Zealanders are expressing concern about the coronavirus outbreak and it might eventually spread to this country. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Daryl Baser. The Dunedin City Council has begun three-day discussions about the draft annual plan. The first session of the day began with some fiery exchanges, with one councillor being made to apologise, and ratepayers could be in line for a 6.5% rates increase. Dunedin City councillors have begun discussing the city's budget, including all proposed spending for the next year. They'll also set the amount property owners will pay through rates next year. Chairing his first annual plan session, Mayor Aaron Hawkins says it's all going pretty well so far.
Useful in the first morning to get through a summary of the budget, if you like, through the Chief Executive's report, and also a fairly robust discussion of the rating method.
The robust discussion was between councillors David Benson-Pope and Lee Vandervis. Both men had put forward their own motions about how the council charges rates. Councillor Benson-Pope's motion to write a report was passed unanimously.
I think one of the big outcomes of this morning so far is the shift towards, or shifting the discussion towards how we apportion our rates and how we can mitigate the impacts on people on lower incomes in the city. And so that's a report that will come back to Council on the 11th of February, looking at how we can reduce the reliance we have on fixed charges and increase the percentage of rates taken by way of the general rate.
However, Councillor Vandervis's proposal to lower the amount of rates businesses pay was voted down 10-2. During the debate, Councillor Benson-Pope was asked to apologise to Councillor Vandervis for breaching the council's code of conduct. Councillor Vandervis appeared unhappy following the exchange.
If I was really candid, I think I might as well go home now, actually. But I have always attended the meetings and always done whatever I can.
He believes the council is set to break its promise of sticking to a 5% rates rise.
It's pretty ugly. We have got a situation where staff have prepared a very self-serving budget, giving themselves a 7.4% increase in their staff costs.
Draft annual plan hearings are set to continue for the next few days, with the public given a chance to have their say later in the year. In Dunedin, The South Today. And to see full coverage of the meeting, tune into Council Matters at 1 p.m. this Saturday on Channel 39. A man was airlifted to Dunedin Hospital with serious injuries yesterday after he was dragged under a train. The incident happened at Alliance Group's Pukeuri plant north of Oamaru. Emergency services were called to the scene just after 3:15 p.m, with a rescue helicopter arriving about 4. One patient was then flown to Dunedin. Alliance Group has launched an investigation into the incident and is now liaising with WorkSafe. A $40,000 warning system has been added to a pedestrian crossing where a school pupil was hit by a truck in Kaikarai Valley 2 years ago. Testing the lights for the first time, the Dunedin City Council says it's its job to alert motorists and increase safety for pedestrians.
2 years ago, this crossing in Dunedin's Kaikarai Valley was the scene of an accident involving a teenager and a delivery truck. Yesterday, the warning lights were turned on for the first time at the city's first high-tech road crossing. Dunedin City Council's Transport Engineering and Road Safety Team Leader Jan Paulsen says the accident was one of the reasons this site was chosen.
It is one of the higher risk crossings, obviously very used with the school. Also because this is a very commercial area, it's reasonably high speed as well and very busy place as well.
Paulson says overseas research shows alerting drivers of pedestrians about to cross is an improvement to road safety.
There's a lot of these ones overseas as well. Obviously not everywhere because you couldn't put them everywhere, but it is for areas like this where a lot of people are maybe looking at side roads and things like that, you know, just getting drivers' attention. It's not really for the pedestrian, it's really for the drivers to get their attention.
Paulson says the cameras above the crossing detect people approaching and waiting to cross, triggering flashing lights both on the signs and on the road.
It's one of only a few in New Zealand as well. So basically it detects pedestrians down on the zebra crossing, and then it lights up the sign, the pedestrian sign as you can see here. It's just come now. And there's some studs in the actual roadway as well that lights up as well with the orange light.
The system cost around $40,000, and the council says it's going to see how the high-tech features work at this crossing before committing to others around the city. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A national remembrance service is to be held on Sunday, March 15th to mark the first anniversary of the Christchurch mosque attacks. The Christchurch City Council says the afternoon service will honour those killed and build on the spirit of unity which came about of the tragedy. 51 people died as a result of the shootings at Al Noor and Lindwood mosques, and many more were injured. The national service will be held at Christchurch's North Hagley Park and is set to be jointly led by the local Muslim community, City Council, Government and Ngā Tahurui as mana whenua. Some New Zealanders are expressing growing concern with the coronavirus outbreak which first emerged in China, that it'll eventually spread to this country. Nigel Miller of the Southern District Health Board says at this point people in New Zealand shouldn't worry about catching the new virus.
Yesterday, New Zealand health authorities classified the new respiratory virus discovered in China as a notifiable disease, meaning authorities must be told of any possible cases and allowing patients to be ordered into isolation. However, so far no cases have been discovered in this country. Southern District Health Board Chief Medical Officer Nigel Miller says while it's early days, the new virus seems to have a fatality rate of about 4%. Putting this in context, the death rate is less than half of what SARS was 8 years ago.
The mortality, the percentage of people who might die from this infection, seems to be around 4% of people infected. And it's people who already have chronic, severe conditions, underlying health problems. They're older, they may have, for example, emphysema, chronic lung disease and so on. That's the sort of thing we're looking at the moment from the information we have.
He points out that all of the 100 or so fatalities from the new virus have been in China, and there's considerable screening of passengers coming to New Zealand.
So should people in New Zealand be concerned? Should you be worried today you might be infected? Well, the answer is no. Because at the present time, as I say this, there are no cases in New Zealand.
He says emergency departments and general practices in New Zealand have always had a plan on how to deal with new infectious respiratory diseases, such as previous cases with SARS and H1N1.
And of course people who have travelled from China, who feel at risk, have come to us and they're screened, and so far we haven't come across anything that causes us concern.
Nearly 500,000 Chinese visited New Zealand last year, but with that country now suspending its tourism bureau, those numbers are expected to drop sharply. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, a $16 million school opens in central Otago, and the Cromwell Pony Club is set to spend a large amount of money upgrading its facilities. See you after the break.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Lana Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chin.
No mai anō, welcome back. Wanaka's new $16 million primary school is set to open for families on Thursday. Te Kura o Take Karara is set to start term 1 with a roll of just 80 pupils and grow to about 400 young learners over the next 3 to 4 years.
Wanaka's new $16 million primary school is almost ready to open its doors for the first public inspection on Thursday. Named Te Kura o Take Karara, the school includes modern learning environments which feature large open areas as well as spaces which can be closed off where groups of up to 6 children can be taught. Principal Jodie Howard is very pleased with the feel of the brand new buildings as well as the surrounding playground.
The outside spaces just look fantastic. We're just thrilled with how it's all come together, finished and ready for children just to be able to be out there and play.
In a few years' time, the school will be catering to around 400 pupils, but it's set to start term 1 this year with a roll of just 80. Most of the school's teachers were given time last year to get to know each other and work out lesson plans. And while inside is a tidy but empty shell, Howard says that will change once the pupils turn up.
We're wanting it to feel very homely, very natural for children to just, they'll bring the colour, their work, their personalities, all of that will be what will make those spaces, come alive.
Built in Wanaka's Three Parks development next to the Wanaka Recreation Centre, the area is so new that surrounding roads are not yet finished.
We've got some meetings this week with Council and the Ministry for the temporary travel plans that we're going to need to have in place until our roads are completed, and just so that parents know where they can drop their children off safely and how the buses will work for the start of term.
The primary school is set to welcome families who want to have a look at the school and meet new teachers on Thursday this week. And an official opening and blessing is planned for the first day of school next week. In Wanaka, the South Today.
The Central Otago Pony Club is to spend about $120,000 rebuilding its cross-country course in time for Nationals in April. The championships come to Cromwell every 14 years and are set to bring over 100 riders from across the country to compete in various disciplines.
Going through their paces. Last week, sunny skies at the Cromwell Racecourse greeted riders from across the south, taking part in the Central Otago Pony Club interbranch competition.
Some of these ones here will be wanting to compete in the Nationals if they qualify. Yep. You can't just hop in and compete, you've got to qualify for it. So there's a few of them here today getting their qualifications up to get into that. So.
And in April, the National Pony Club Championships are set to be hosted by Cromwell, drawing riders from Northland to Bluff. The event comes to Central Otago every 14 years and will require the local club to rebuild the cross-country course, which has got a bit tired since the last time the Nationals were held here.
It's a full cross-country rebuild because the one that's there now is about 14 years old and they just don't last that well. So it's a big deal for us.
Hewson says the revamped cross-country will feature about 90 jumps and be an asset for all to use, hopefully lasting long enough for the return of the National Championships in 14 years' time.
And then it will be there for the next 20 years, hopefully, if it's well maintained, 20 or 30 years. And it's open to the riding public 24/7.
About 120 riders are expected for the 4-day National Champs in mid-April, and Hewson is hoping the visitors will be impressed with his region.
It's very picturesque, and that's a big part of having champs here too, is we can showcase Central Otago. You know, in April, Central Otago is pretty cool.
In Cromwell, the South Today.
And after the break on the South Today, it's a great day for kites in Ashburton with international flyers paying a visit. And we look at the weather as we stagger towards the end of the week. See you after the break.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Larnach Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Feed me more!
Thanks for staying with us. A group of international visitors travelling the country called into Ashburton's kite factory on Sunday. Peter Lynn Kites was started in 1973 and is now considered the global mecca for kite flyers and enthusiasts.
These visitors from New Zealand, as well as Germany, USA and Australia, are visiting Peter Lynn Kites, an Ashburton factory started in 1973 and now considered to be a mecca for kite flyers and enthusiasts. Adelaide-based Neville Cavell was born here and has now come back on his first New Zealand kite tour.
Yeah, he's been looking forward to doing this for quite some years. It's always conflicted with Adelaide with our Australia Day weekend. We fly down in Kingston, but now we've come to New Zealand to enjoy it.
The factory tour gives an insight into how the kites are taken from a concept to final design, being built by any number of colour combinations from the endless metres of fabric on site. Carvel considers the Ashburton Kite Factory to be the home of kites and attributes a strong following of kiting in South Australia to a former factory employee.
A guy actually used to work here in Ashburton. Phil McConaughey actually got us into kites in South Australia and making large inflatable kites, which is really why we're all here today.
Simon Chisnell of Peter Lynn Kites says while the company is closely involved with several overseas kite flying festivals, they are not so well known in their home country.
We're basically going overseas all the time, travelling to different countries and doing kite festivals, but not so many in New Zealand, and it's good to get a chance to fly locally.
This year's New Zealand Kite Tour included a visit to Christchurch's New Brighton Beach on Saturday and a fun fly event just south of Ashburton at Lake Hood on Sunday. In Ashburton, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. There were fiery exchanges as Dunedin City Council begins 3 days of discussions around the annual plan. A $40,000 upgrade of a dangerous road crossing is the first of its kind in Dunedin. And New Zealanders are expressing growing concern the coronavirus outbreak will eventually spread to this country. Time now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's Otago Day Times. We welcome the editor, Mr. Barry Stewart.
Hello, Daryl. Government big handout today for infrastructure, transport infrastructure. The government announced $90 million for bus lanes for Queenstown. So that's a significant entry there, so we'll see what happens. Also, part of the handout too, 7 southern schools will get the lion's share of $4.8 million to replace their old coal boilers with cleaner biomass boilers for heating. So progress there.
One could guess that maybe an election was called a couple of days ago, if I'm cynical.
That's a very good point, Daryl. Well made. Dunedin City Council has agreed to, moving on, the Dunedin City Council has agreed to cheaper bus fares, and there's no election in sight around Dunedin. And Dunedin concert venues and event managers are keeping a close watch on public health messages. with raised alert levels following, of course, the outbreak of the coronavirus. And of course that coincides with a significant fortnight of activities in the city, Elton John and Queen and a variety of other things. So they're on the alert there. On the similar subject, Silverfern Farms says its ability to continue processing in some of its plants will be impacted if the coronavirus situation continues for an extended period.
Wow, it's amazing.
Sorry, yes?
It's amazing to how wide-reaching the whole thing is. There's some things you wouldn't. I'm really impressed that people have thought of those other angles. It's phenomenal.
Well, I guess once you get on a plane and you mingle with people, it can go anywhere, can't it? As has been evidenced. So we also have some good sports news in the paper tomorrow. So look out for that. Lots of cricket action, and we're previewing a bit of rugby too, which is just on the horizon.
Brilliant. All that and more.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for that, Barry. All that and more in tomorrow's ODT. Time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with the southern view, setting the stage for the Masters Games, set to start soon in the city. Looking at the situation, a strong westerly airflow brings strong winds and showers to the coast, but it should be mostly dry elsewhere. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are looking a bit cloudy with 19 degrees and a slight chance of showers. Heading across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim, you can both expect a cloudy day and 26 degrees. Heading down to Canterbury, Kaikoura aims for 22 degrees with cloudy skies. Christchurch also has light cloud and 24, while Ashburton you're scheduled to have a few clouds and 26 degrees. Heading to the southern towns, the Catalans, Vaucluse, Lumsden and Gore are all looking at strong westerlies, showers and 19 degrees. Flying across to central Otago, Wanaka, Alexandra and Queenstown are all set for gusty northwesterlies with cloud increasing. Wanaka and Queenstown you should reach 24. Alexandra you're set to be the hottest in the area on 27. While Te Anau you're set for strong westerlies, rain and 18 degrees. Heading up to the northern towns, on the coast, those in Timaru and Oamaru should plan for increasing northwesterlies, some high cloud, 27 for Timaru and 25 for Oamaru. Looking inland, Twizel and Omarama are both due for strong northwesterlies and fine weather with 25 degrees. In Dunedin, cloudy tonight with southwesterlies and an overnight low of 12. Mostly fine and sunny tomorrow with some high cloud at times and moderate, mild northerly winds. A high of 21 and a low of 13. Fine on Friday with sunny periods and some cloud. It should be cooler with strong gusty south to west to southwesterly winds. A high of 17 and a low of 10 degrees. And in Invercargill, mostly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 11 degrees. Cloudy tomorrow with strong gusty westerlies, showers developing later in the day. Winds may rise to gale force during the evening. A high of 19 and a low of 14. Colder, strong to gale westerlies winds on Friday with cloudy skies and showers at times. A high of 15 and a low of 12. And that's all from the South Today team for this Wednesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.